Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here with Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour.
Yes, hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 172. Thank you for joining us tonight. Glad to be back. Brian, I had the coof.
You finally broke your COVID cherry, Jim.
Yeah, it finally happened. Only dodged it for 2.5 years, but yeah, knocked me on my ass a little bit, but I'm here. Now I sound extra nasally, so.
You really are Squidward.
SpongeBob.
So, Jim, we got two excellent guests today.
Yes, we do.
Intro?
Actually, I have to do one real quick shout-out. Have to give a shout-out to the boys from Reliving Retro for having me on their show. Talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels of the Roses, one of my favorite games, so check the link below. You can see my appearance there. But yes, speaking of guests, we've had brewers before, we've had a lot of YouTubers, but we haven't had actual game devs on the show before. So speaking of poppin' cherries, we're breaking that tonight, because we have John Roo and good old Longie Long on Twitter, or you can call him Steve, whatever, it doesn't matter. But they are the boys behind Gelatinous, and they are here with us tonight.
Hey,
guys, how you doing?
Appreciate you having us on, man.
Yeah, it's cool to be here. It's very exciting.
Definitely.
I'm excited. Real excited.
Yeah, same here.
Now, Steve, that looks like a pretty custom beer you got going on in that cup.
I
Top
brewed
of
it
the line.
myself.
The triple X's.
Dude, I
Some
gotta be
firewater.
honest. I saw the Triple X, and Jim and I don't know about you guys, but we had go-to bachelor party beer being Molson Triple X because it was the higher percentage beer. So every time I see Triple X and beer, that my mind goes to that, and too many memories of Jim being butt-ass naked around a hotel room. So yeah, it's flashbacks for me. Terrible ones.
So good memories. Good memories.
Yeah, so Steve, every time you take a drink now, Brian imagines me naked, so keep doing it.
God damn it. No!
Yes.
If you're long Steve, then he's short Jim.
It's not wrong.
You be nice to Jim. I've seen this show. I know how it goes. You be nice to poor Jim. He just rolls over and takes it like a bitch, episode after episode.
You know, it's funny. We actually talk about that so many times because every group of friends or people that meet him for the first time, with all of our friends, say the same thing. You guys are so mean to him. A week in, they go, "God damn it, Jim," and are yelling at him more than we are.
They've talked to me long enough. They know my wheelings and dealings, so they fully expect it. They know how to treat me.
He's got that kind of face, but normally I don't have to look at it.
It's true.
So, Roo, I see you got a big boy. What you drink with us tonight?
This is the Big Little Thing IPA. I don't really get an opportunity to drink that often anymore, so I went for the Big Little Thing. It's a 9% and it's strong. I can really taste the alcohol because I haven't drank in like 8 weeks. So it's like extra strong.
A 9%er, that'll knock you on your ass. Now, do you usually like IPAs?
Yeah. Usually I drink Art Car. That's my favorite beer. I think it's Carbach, but I really like it. It's something that I just stuck onto, and I tried a lot of different kinds of IPAs and just any like other kinds of beers, but I really stuck with the IPAs, and I really like that they're strong. It's nice.
Yeah.
You know,
You just want as much alcohol bang for your buck as possible.
I like
right?
to drink like bourbons and stuff like that. You know, so whenever I do drink a beer, I like it to be strong.
Nice.
So I have no self-control.
Here.
I was gonna say you're in pretty good company right now. So
That's why I literally just bought one beer. If I would have bought like a 6-pack or something like that, then I would have been like having a fucking rager.
Oh, no, we should have had John pass out halfway through.
Dude, one of these days I will buy the 6-pack and we can do a podcast.
Yes, we'll do a legit power hour.
For
what
some
about
reason,
you,
dude, I
Chambers?
slam them, dude.
Dude, I said it's funny. Jim and I are both those kind of casual drinkers, and I don't know if you guys are too, but like I had that bad habit of being at the bar. I mean, before we started, I finished a beer as I was talking to you guys, and now I'm already halfway through this one because I tend to, like, if I'm not actively talking, I'm just drinking if it's in my hand. So yeah, bar tabs get pretty expensive, so I'm with you. Go with the bourbon or shit that you just have to force yourself to try to slow down.
Right. You feel it whenever you feel it coming on. It's like, It's like that triple X that old Steve has.
Yep. Don't lift it.
Thank you, Jim.
Yes.
It reminds me of like old cartoons whenever they have like a bottle of something like.
Yeah.
And actually, back to you, Brian. I'm drinking from the Virginia Beer Company, their Freeverse IPA. So
You still have shit from there?
I was waiting for us to meet up before I was going to break this out, and I still have a couple for us. So, but yeah, I mean, I bought it during No IPA May, so I wasn't drinking it then, and then I just never thought to bring it over, and then I got sick. So here we are. Yeah,
How you liking it?
It's you know what. Well, Brian, this juicy, unfiltered tropical IPA expresses itself without limitation thanks to copious helpings of Zega and Chinook hops. Note, some naturally occurring sediment is normal and expected.
Where's the endorsement? He's got to get paid for this shit.
I need to animate Squidward saying that whole line right there.
God damn it. We're just going to have like a, what do they call it? VTuber. I need a VTuber set up with Squidward's face. But yeah, it's actually 6.8% alcohol, so a little more than a standard little IPA there. So, but it doesn't taste really boozy at all. You get that little hint of citrus in there. So, nice little balance.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'm going I started with my go-to now cheap beer that I still have, my good old Lucky Streak, because
nice.
Dude, this shit, I don't know if either you guys have had this for
I've never even seen it.
Dude, I saw it for the first time. It was a 30-pack for $14. And I went, oh, this is going to be absolutely terrible. Much like Jim's Keystone. And
oh, dude.
It's
Keystone.
not good.
Yeah, Keystone, dude, is a guaranteed peeing out the butt the next day.
Yes. It tears up your inside in the worst way possible.
That's my default anyway.
That's like my high school beer for sure. It's like you buy 30 packs of Keystone.
Yeah. But I got Lucky Streak for Jim and I because eventually I have a good idea for a little drinking game for us. But those are now my go-to like in-between beers. But for my fancier beer for tonight, I'm going with the Oktoberfish from Flying Fish Brewing Company. It's only 6%. So I last year went through about 15 or 16 beer reviews for the best like Oktoberfest style beer, and I'm one of those people, like, I refuse to touch pumpkin beer until we're at least closer to Halloween. So Oktoberfest is technically first, even though you would think it's in October. It's really September. So I'm trying to get a head start, have a couple of these, finish some more reviews with that. And Flying Fish is one that's a little more local to us out of New Jersey. And it's okay. It's not bad. A lot of their stuff, I don't want to hit on them too hard. But if you like Oktoberfest beers, you could probably find something better. But still, it'll get the job done. 6%.
It's got the word fish in it, and that's kind of weird.
Yeah. They get cute. They're one of those beer companies that get cute, so they have to somehow have a fish reference in a lot of their beer titles. So I'm like, okay, we get it. Your name's Flying Fish. God damn it.
Now, before we get going, where can we find you guys and all your content? Because you guys have a ton of shit going on between the two of you.
Dude.
Roo, you want to go first?
The Retro Room Roo, that's the best places to find me. Twitter, Instagram. I have a TikTok account and a YouTube account. It's just that's usually where I'm at. That's where I'm hanging. And we also have a Gelatinous Twitter where we post nothing but exclusive Gelatinous stuff. So it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Twitter for me, and I think mostly for Roo also, is kind of the main point of contact.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to find us, I'm Longie_Long. But I also have a website, popdecades.com, which is kind of the hub for all of my endeavors. So that's where we host the Gelatinous website. And
it's a cool name too, Pop Decades.
Oh, I thought so. I couldn't believe nobody bought it yet. So I jumped on it.
It's catchy.
And yeah, we do a lot of movie top 10 lists and a lot of retro stuff there.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's cool on there because it's not just like talking about an old movie, but like you'll be like, oh, top 10 cool moment. It's almost a thing we used to do back in the day where it's like we're talking about like our beer-worthy moments from a video game that we really liked. You'll break down like a classic movie like one of the Rockies and give like the 10 reasons why you should like it and not just be like, oh yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, I don't watch movies. I have a guy that does a lot of the movie reviews, and he's he writes screenplays. And he gets real into that kind of stuff. I'm like, you keep sending me material, I'll keep posting it. It's fine.
You just wanted an excuse to play He-Man toys with your kid. Don't lie.
That's It's true. It's true. With or without my kid, really.
So, guys, I got to ask. So, how did you guys come together on Gelatinous? I mean, Roo, obviously, I know on your website you've had how many games now at this point?
A handful.
Yeah. But like, I mean, obviously, and Jim is the main Twitter guy, and I know you guys through Jim. But how'd you guys come together on that one? Like, what was that like?
We might have two different stories, but I saw him doing some art on Twitter, and he was just posting like Game Boy style art, and I was like, that's really cool. You want to make a game? And he was like, yeah. It was literally that simple.
It was just
yeah.
That's
Like, it was super random. Like, I just reached out to him and I was like, hey, you seem pretty cool, and we're in a group chat together. You want to make a game? Like, and he was just like, yeah, let's do it. What do I need to do? And I was like, I have no idea. Let's find out. So that's kind of like, I guess, where we came together. I don't know if your story is different or not, but
I'd say that's it in a nutshell. But that's the nutshell is basically all there is to it.
Yeah.
I've been doing art for most of my life, just off and on, casually, and it occurred to me that I've never tried to do pixel art or video game style art of any kind. So I started trying it, and I felt like I was doing some stuff I was actually proud of. So I started posting it, and I did one piece that was like a really cool kind of epic landscape in Game Boy colors, and Roo just
I remember the
played
picture
into my DMs.
Yeah, I remember the picture specifically, and it was really good, and like, it was way too ambitious for the Game Boy, but neither of us knew that. We tried to put it on there, and it was just like ruined the Game Boy. But yeah, that's kind of where it started, and we didn't have any idea what kind of game we were going to make or anything like that. It was just kind of let's do this thing.
It was damn. So it was just that simple. So, but did you guys like? How well, other than group chats, did you guys know each other outside of that?
Not at all. Yeah, not at all.
Damn.
Like, we became friends through this, really. And we met in person because of it, which is really cool.
It's weird.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because you're both in Texas, right? So,
yeah.
But like, how close in Texas? Because it's I guess
Texas
it's a
is
big state.
Yeah. Well, I went to a convention in Dallas, and he lives in Dallas, and I live in Houston, so it's probably like 4 or 5 hours away, maybe.
Yeah,
something like that. So it's still pretty good.
4 or 12 if traffic is bad.
Dude, and Dallas traffic is nothing to mess around with.
I was there once, and I was there in rush hour, and I was like, "This is a nightmare. This makes Philly look
horrible.
Like, decent."
It's pretty much always rush hour.
Yeah, it was pretty bad because I got stuck in traffic on the way home, and I was like, "Whoa!" But yeah, we got to meet through Retropalooza, and that was awesome. And we got to show people our game, and it was really cool.
Dude, that's awesome. But like, when you guys started, from the moment you said, "Hey, let's do this," like, how long do you think it took you from there to, "Hey, finished product here"?
Dude, we started, and then I like kept delaying things because I got sick, and I was in the hospital, and I had a lung collapse, and we had started like right before that, and I had to go through this like recovery process, and Steven was like super patient and super cool about it, which is awesome, and we just picked up right where we left off, but all together.
I feel like he's kind of downplaying it. He was on the brink of death, y'all.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was nuts.
It was scary.
It's still scary to think about.
I was not patient. I was just like, well.
You're like, well, that's the end of that.
If you stay alive, you hit me up, bro.
Like, dude, if you make it through this, then we'll keep making that game. But yeah, luckily, I was all good, and we just kind of picked it back up, and it probably took maybe like a year and a half or something like that. So
okay.
And
that sounds pretty damn fast considering that.
We could have totally put in more time to it and would have loved to, but since we did the whole Kickstarter thing, we just felt bad. We wanted to it's like one of those things where it's hard to call it complete because you're consistently learning more new stuff and getting quicker and better and faster, and it was just hard to call it done.
They kept updating Game Boy Studio too.
Yeah.
To the point where Gelatinous was becoming obsolete, and we need to get this out because the new generation of Game Boy Studio games
they made it so easy. It's crazy, yeah, and they're so good, and we were just like, dude, we have to stay cutting edge.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of one of those points where we just called it.
Now, Steve, what do you call it for the character, for the Gelatinous character? Have you always had like a goo monster hero like stuck in the back of your head you always wanted to bring out, or is it just like random inspiration one day?
So we're pretty limited on the Game Boy, at least the version of Game Boy Studio we were using. And so I made this pretty cool like post-apocalyptic bro character with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth and a ball cap, and I thought he looked dope. And Roo was like, "Hey, that's great. Can you make him 16 by 16 pixels?
Can you make him tiny, with zero detail?"
So he's a square. What do you just want me to make, like a blob? You know what? We'll do that. That's fine. We'll do that. And that's how it started.
It's funny because he would just pitch me ideas and I would just try to do them. I would just try to make them work, and a lot of them made it into the game. So it was just Steven coming up with like an idea and being like, "Can you try this?" And I was like, I don't know. And I would get frustrated and be like, "I can't do this." And he's like, "I bet you can." And then I ended up pulling through. So
the good old reverse psychology.
Yeah. I would get frustrated for like days and I'd be like, "It's impossible."
Speaking of impossible, friggin' Steve over here is a masochist because his original vision for the game is what is the hardcore mode in the game?
Nightmare mode.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's even harder than it is now because it might be, technically a short boy, but whew, well, you have to put some time in to beat this sucker.
Well,
which I have, and I've enjoyed my time with it. But you guys.
Boy, do I know. I suck at video games, dude. I'm not good.
Me too. I learned the hard way.
Yeah, I'm not good. And
now, is it like, was it always like your vision is just like to bring back the old NES hard kind of deal, and then you went, well, maybe we should make it a little bit less brutal, at least at first, or was it just Roo yelling at you to make it something he could actually play?
Well, the original, NES games and Game Boy games they're super short. It's a tiny little memory on the cartridge, so they're short by nature, so you have to make them super duper hard to where you actually have to keep trying and get some mileage out of the game. So that was part of it. I also felt like the game engine was kind of just a standard game engine. I was afraid that any other platformers that came out from GB Studio would be similar, just like ours.
Yeah.
So like we need to do something to make it stand out. Right. So made it super hard and kind of pushed that, like, if you're up to it, prepare to get your ass kicked.
I never really played Castlevania or Metroid games, not much, and Steve loves them, and so it was like this thing where I was creating a kind of game that I had never even played, and so I just kind of followed his lead with that kind of concept,
Yeah,
I know it's probably blasphemy. I know I just like broke the gaming rules right there by saying that, but yeah, it's the truth.
No, it kind of worked out though because it's got this like dual feeling going on where like the first third of the game kind of is like a Metroid, and then all of a sudden it becomes like Super Meat Boy. I'm like,
right.
Oh, how did this come from? But it's still just like it naturally worked its way in there where you're at the end of the game, you're like, wait a second, this just became a brutal platformer out of nowhere. Where in the beginning it's like, oh, get new power, figure out new power, solve puzzle, blah blah blah. So it's cool how it kind of molded that way. Did you like envision a Metroidvania at first, and then it just kind of went the other way, or were you just throwing shit at the wall?
I think so, because like I originally like named the file something like something like Metroid or Castlevania or something like that. I don't remember what I named it, but it was something along those lines.
It was just
like
Vania.
Vania, oh, that's it. Vania. Yeah, I just named the folder Vania, and yeah, it was just kind of started off with that, and.
I wasn't trying to make a Metroidvania because I feel like that genre has become pretty saturated.
Yeah.
But again, Game Boy games are so small that I thought we could get some mileage out of reusing one of the maps to where you go get your power and then come back to the main map and have to find your way to the next part. So it just kind of padded out the game a little more, and I felt like it made it more of a cohesive experience, even though you're in a Aztec pyramid, and then you're in a laboratory basement, then you're
on a river.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you guys though, but since you got this done in Roo, like you said, you felt like as you're going on, you're learning more techniques. You want to add more.
Yeah.
Did the drive, like finishing the game, make you go, I want to keep developing like a Game Boy game, or I want to take it to a different level, like try something else out? Like, what's the process now? I mean, obviously, it's like you just did this giant project. But I'm sure, like any creator, your mind already goes, all right,
dude,
already thinking about next. Like you can never just be satisfied and calm down. You're like, all right, next thing.
I think both me and Steven were already thinking of the next thing whenever we were in the middle of Gelatinous. So
Rude, did you tell him to ask this question?
Dude, we were definitely thinking of the next thing, literally in the middle of Gelatinous, and definitely want to work on all sorts of like projects, over ambitious in every way that we can be, and trying to bite off more than we can chew always. So, yeah.
I mean, you gotta aim high with that shit, and yeah, like obviously, doing the projects, like I said, it's almost like the most exciting part is the idea, the brainstorming of it, and like
that's the fun part.
Yeah, like that's where you're like, oh, this could be really cool, and then when you're like, fuck, all right, maybe we can't quite do all of it. But
when you've been trying to perfect wall climbs for like months and months,
dude, and I know we're the first people to use the wall climb because it was so damn hard to implement, dude. Like, dude, it was just so janky and just it was rough, but yeah.
I was gonna say, what do you think was the toughest part of putting this together?
Probably like trying to put functions into the engine that weren't initially supposed to be in there or ever used before. They might, I haven't messed with the new versions of it. They might have it in there better now, or but I did that with Quest Arrest. It's the same way. Like they didn't even have menus in Quest Arrest. Whenever I was, they didn't have menus, and I was trying to build an RPG, and that definitely has menus. So
yeah.
It's always just trying to be cutting edge in these engines, and they update faster than I could make games. So they have these teams working on the engine, and I'm telling Steven, like, dude, there's like, he was asking me about parallax scrolling in the background and all this stuff, and we couldn't do it then, and now it's just a normal thing, So
damn. So what drives between the two of you though? Like, it sounds like you guys are collaborating on a lot of pieces, and you each have ideas. But what drives, does it sometimes does Steve be like, yo, I got this great idea for this thing I can sketch up or draw. Now, how do we get into the game? Or is it more like the function of the game? Like, I want to see us do X, Y, and Z. Steve, can you actually sketch that up? Like, how does that work with you guys?
I don't even know.
For my part, as the and the idea guy in game development is the ultimate job where you just tell the developer what you want and he magically makes it happen. As the idea guy in this project, a game will just kind of come to me as if in a dream, fully formed and ready to be developed.
It doesn't end up that way though.
No, nothing ever does, but that's okay.
Right.
Yeah, for our next project, for example, I wanted to do another platformer, and I wanted to do it on the NES, and I had a whole list of things I wanted to do with an overworld and side-scrolling underworlds and da-da-da-da, and basically none of that.
I'm like, dude, that's way too hard. I'm like, dude, that's so hard. I'm not that good. So, but yeah, we're definitely. I guess that right there says that we're working on an NES game together.
That's awesome.
It's awesome to hear. We'll keep an eye out for that Kickstarter.
Yeah. It's still in really early phases, and like we're still trying to get comfortable with like the workflow. But
no,
it's
see,
like
this is where you guys are fucking up. You have an idea, you make a Kickstarter, collect the money, and then don't deliver for 5 years. That's what you're supposed to do.
Dude,
you guys turned this around in a year and a half, and that's bullshit.
Yeah, we had like a 90% done game, and then we launched our Kickstarter. But
guys, the good news is if you need someone on your team, I'm pretty sure Tommy Tallarico has some time on his hands.
Dude, we've been looking into it. I have to send him an email.
He can use some cash now. And actually, what do you call it? Speaking of future projects, Roo, you're actually also dabbling in the bringing unfinished games to life thing, like how you brought Chip's Challenge to the Super NES and the Genesis and a bunch of stuff, and you're working on a Game Boy game or a Game Boy Advance game right now.
Yeah.
Which I can't pronounce, so that's why I'm not saying it. So I'll leave that to you.
Elland is probably what you're talking about.
Yep.
Ellen to the Crystal Wars. Yeah, that was originally another franchise. Somebody else can say it, but I don't think I can say it. But it was already another franchise that was created, and I worked with another programmer to like take all the copywritten material out of it and make it its own IP. So yeah, we just finished the programming on that, and it's a really cool game. Like it's super seemingly like advanced for the Game Boy Advanced, and I had a lot of fun working on it. It's just a really cool game. I'm glad to wrap that up finally too. Like especially like I'm not really excited about like shipping it out because like Gelatinous has been crazy. Like, dude, if you've ever shipped like 10 things, it's crazy, but to ship this many games is insane, dude. So
I can't even imagine.
Dude, I'm tired. So I'm definitely like not looking forward to shipping it, but like it's such an awesome game that anybody who likes first person shooters should try it out. It's awesome. Like I feel really lucky to have had the opportunity to be able to take that game. The actual original developers of it reached out to me and they were like, dude, thank you for working on the game and releasing it, because like we worked on this game 20 years ago and it never got released, and like nobody got to like enjoy our hard work. It just went dead, you know? So
that's awesome.
It's not the last game that I'm doing this with either. So luckily, like I've grabbed a few licenses, and we're going to work on a few more of them. So you haven't heard the last of me.
Now let me ask you though, guys, like obviously you sound like you're both pretty damn busy.
Sure.
What do you have games that like right now you're playing just as like, hey, I need to sit back and just relax and actually play something when you get your time? Like, is there any games you are actively playing right now?
I have nothing to play. I've been playing on Steam Deep Rock Galactic. I should really make sure I know the name of it because I put in like 50 hours already. It's a multiplayer cooperative shooter, kind of like Left 4 Dead, but with alien bugs, and also you're mining for gold and stuff. It's very fun.
They're like it's like futuristic like dwarves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the preview for that. I was like, because as you described, I was like, yeah, Left 4 Dead, and they're going against like, is it bugs or like alien things?
They're giant alien bugs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Damn, so your 30's out. Okay, so that's kind of your go-to, like, all right, I got an hour, I'm just going to pop that on.
Oh, each mission, usually at least 30 minutes, maybe 20 if you've got a short mission, but it's always like when it's 1:30 in the morning and I need to go to bed, and I'm like, all right, just one more mission. That's the one that's usually like an hour and a half or something.
And then you die at the last minute and you got to redo it.
Yeah, right. It's always like that.
Got to.
What about you, Ro?
I have been playing .hack on my PS2, actually. I'm on the second. There's 4 games. I'm on the second one. So
hopefully you've had them since you were younger and didn't play them in the last 5 years?
Never played them before.
Wow.
So, and they're expensive.
I was going to say, yeah, you just...
They're not cheap. I only have the first 2, so I'm going to have to invest whenever I beat this second one, but I just started the second one, and they're fun, dude. I like mess around probably more than just the main story. I like put a lot of hours into them. I think the main story is probably like 20 hours, and I put like 30, 40 hours into them. So, but it's hard to find time to play these days. It's either play games or make games.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask, so as Jim alluded to, like we've had brewers on and content creators, and my question to you guys is, as developers, are you ever able to actually sit back and just enjoy a game, or is there an analytical part of your brain that goes, like you're thinking about like how'd they get this done, or like what, like are you are you going back to being able to be a kid and like just enjoy the game, or are you analyzing every aspect of it?
I want to hear what Steve has to say, what he thinks.
It kind of depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Because there's times when I absolutely just need to disconnect and veg out and lose myself in a really immersive game.
Yeah.
Usually when I'm doing it though, I have this like kind of guilt, like, oh, I should be working on something. Right now, since the NES project is kind of in limbo, so we figure out how we're going to move forward. then it's been a great chance for me to justify not working on something for a while. Yeah.
It's crazy how much I understand that. Like it's insane, but like it's either you make games or you play games, and you know, I disconnect them entirely whenever I do play games, but I do have that guilt. Like I don't feel like I'm playing a game and I'm watching it and I'm like, how is this done or created? I'm like, I don't care how it was created. I just like that it's fun, you know? So I'm able to disconnect that, but I'm not able to disconnect the idea that I'm like I should be like working on making a game, you know? There's like, there's a huge list of things that need to be done, you know?
Yeah.
And
No.
now we're just starting that NES project, and like it's pretty daunting because we're not using really an engine really. It's like all from source code, like so
it's all Roo.
It's a little bit overwhelming, and like that's why I'm trying to like move slow so that I don't like lose myself. But yeah, you know, I find more time probably to make games than I do to play them. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it makes sense. Now, what about you, Jamers? I know with the COVID, you've been busting out games left and right.
Yeah, I was tearing through games until it spread to the rest of my family, and then I didn't have to, block myself off in the basement anymore. So, I went through a bunch of games. Finished off a bunch of my resolution games. So, went through Legendary Axe 2, went through Uncharted 2. Legendary Axe, I'm glad to finally sit down and beat that after trying for like 6 years. And Uncharted 2, you know what? It turned me around a little on the franchise because I fucking hated the first one. But this one, it like halfway through, it was like, oh, we're going to actually throw cool shit into the game. And I was like, oh, this is why people like these. Because the first half of it was kind of like Uncharted 1 again, and I was like, ugh.
I tried to play Uncharted. I couldn't get into it.
Just skip the first one. Like, anytime people talk about it, they're like, oh, you gotta start with the first to like get invested with the characters. But me, who doesn't care about story, I was just like, fuck, no, just skip the first one. It sucks.
I don't know.
And then, what do you call it? Also went through, good old Star Fox 64, had to do my yearly playthrough. Did Duels of the Roses for the podcast appearance I did. And actually, I won a copy of Avenging Spirit from a giveaway on Twitter. So it's a port of an old Japanese arcade game. So I played through that in the past couple days. It's all right. Glad I got it from a giveaway.
Nice. Yeah, speaking of Uncharted, so going through the Uncharted games was some of my resolution. I started with the first one. Yeah, I'm not loving it so far. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this shooting is. I see what they were trying to do. It's like it literally is like a Michael Bay movie into a game. At least this first one feels like that. And I'm like, okay, like this is what we're doing. And I'm trying to be like, maybe it gets better, but I'm that type. I have to go through the first one. So I'm going to trudge through it and then get to the second one. But my main game has actually been Bloodborne. And I played it before, loved it. I never beat it before.
That's so hard.
Dude, it's so hard, but I'm so much further. And like, it's funny. I can't disconnect when I do play a game. The idea of like, I always record the footage because I'm like, I'll use this for something where Jim and I are doing, or a list or something like that. And that world in Bloodborne made me want to do like a top 10 like video game worlds, because it's one of the most interestingly designed worlds I've ever seen. But it actually got me thinking of one thing, and especially since we're talking to you guys, one thing I've noticed a lot are demakes of games, and I noticed there was a PS1 demake of Bloodborne.
I saw that.
In the style of Nightmare Creatures, and I was like, that's a perfect mashup, and that was something I kind of saw, and I'm like, I wish they would do that with so many games nowadays. Like they did like a Halo like platformer, I think, but that was one thing I would be like, that'd be really cool, like to just do the whole demake of a game.
Dude, if they would give up the license, like I would do so many of those. That would be so sick. Like there's so many games that I would love to do that with if they would just give up the license, you know?
I started a demake of Doom for the NES.
Nice.
It's not going too well.
Oh, it sucks because I made like a Zelda RPG game, and I put it out on the internet and put a video out showing it off, and the only comments that I ever got were like, Nintendo's gonna come fuck you in the ass, you better take this down. Like, and it was
they're
just,
not wrong.
It just made it so unenjoyable, and I was like, what is Nintendo gonna come do? They're gonna come take I'm fucking broke, dude. They're gonna come take my Xbox from me or something? Like, I don't know. At the time, this was my thought process, at least, you know. Now I have a company. I'm like, don't take that from me. But
you're like, please don't.
yeah. But like, I rent. I don't own any property or anything. I'm like, what are they gonna take from me? Like, yeah, I don't have anything. But
just be like, I like my ass Nintendo. Please don't.
You know, otherwise I would make games like that just to, even for free, you know, like just to give away or whatever. That kind of thing is cool to me, like a demake but it was just not an enjoyable experience to have all those comments be like, they're going to come after you. And that was literally like, it got like 250,000 views, and that was all of the comments, every single one.
Ugh.
Yeah, so
that sucks.
I was just like, okay, I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah.
Well, leave it to the internet to rain on your parade.
Yeah.
Good.
No, but like I see that, and Steve, like even you as like the idea guy, as you say, like I look at games where something as simple as like Mario RPG. If you did Legend of Zelda, like you're saying, Roo, like in that style, like just simple things that fans want. Yeah, it's not going to be a blockbuster. It may not even be for profit. It's just like give people what they want, and I feel like you see with movies and everything nowadays. People, to a degree, kind of run out of ideas, and maybe demaking and reusing old systems like that will like regenerate or revive those older systems. And especially if you can demake modern classics to those styles, it can give some appreciation to them, maybe a little bit.
If you could get the license for some of these old games, like if you could get make a licensed port of Doom for the NES. You'd bank. I mean, it'd be all over.
Oh yeah.
But if you're going to do something that would infringe copyright to where you just have to give it away for free for publicity or whatever,
and they still might take it down. They still might take it.
Yeah, they might. But making a game takes so much time and effort that that's opportunity cost. You know, you could have been doing something that you could profit off of. I've always been really intrigued by the idea of taking an existing IP and kind of like what Roo did with Ellen, just taking out all the copyrighted stuff, but keeping the core gameplay and kind of like a wink, like here's this main character with a whip.
Little knockoff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's plenty of games out there that I look at something like Bloodstained and I go, that is just a Castlevania 3 knockoff. But it's well done, it's well drawn, good music, but it is just almost a copy of that game, just done for modern consoles.
It's by the creator, right?
Yeah, it's by Iga.
Yeah.
It would suck to work so hard on a game, and then like those are the kind of games that I work with releasing, is games where people worked really hard on them and then they got canceled or they like somehow missed an opportunity to get released. So I with all the work that I put into, say, Gelatinous, for example, like if we would have got to the end of that project and then like Steven was just like, we're not releasing this, you know, I would be so disappointed. Like, dude, I would be so upset.
Way Forward came in and is like, that's a ripoff of A Boy and His Blob. And you're like, no, it's a completely different game. And then they just shut it down completely.
Dude, I would cry for days, literally. That would be like a horrible experience. So like, I can't imagine putting all this time into this demake and it goes viral and then like they come after you and they're like, we're going to sue you. And you're like, okay, well, that was for nothing, you know?
Now, I get it. Like I said, yeah, it's not something, I mean, obviously you guys are here. I'm saying it's just interesting when I see so many made, because as you said, and Steve, it's funny, you mentioned Doom on the NES. I saw Doom was demade for something like almost like the Atari. Like someone did like some weird version of it, and that's what I wondered. I'm like, how are these things available? But it's almost like once it gets leaked out there online, like it kind of lives a life of its own. It's probably not legally out there, but then it's out there,
right?
So,
well, there's the meme of putting Doom on anything with a screen, you know.
And
I've seen it on an ATM screen.
I don't controlled by a DSLR camera now.
I don't think that most developers will come after you for that kind of thing, or most publishers, they won't come after you for that kind of thing. But sometimes you'll see a case like there's this like UK YouTuber that I follow, Lady Decade, and she's going through this thing where she used somebody's picture, and now this fucking guy is in her emails trying to sue her, or whatever, threatening her over a picture that was used for 3 seconds. That is she's using it in a transformative way, but who knows if it's serious or not, and if it goes that way just for a picture, then I can't imagine for something you work really hard on.
She should send her husband to go pile drive his ass.
Right? Isn't he a villain wrestler, dude? Hell yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a weird, shitty situation, but
sucks, dude.
As Jim said, it's like, unfortunately for something like you with the Zelda, when everyone made those Nintendo comments, they would be the company that would do that. Dude, of all developers, they're the one that I go, oh yeah, we see it with beer companies all the time, but like Nintendo is the worst of the worst with that shit, and I go, why? It's free, like,
dude. If nobody, like, I deleted the post now. It went pretty kind of viral. I think I got like about 250,000 views, and I deleted the post. But I want to go back and be like, bitch, it's still up. No fucking Nintendo came after me.
I can't blame you there.
You can still find it online, dude. Like, Nintendo can write. They can write me the letter. My email's public. I'll take it down if they want me to. Yeah. I'm not trying to challenge them.
No, fuck them. Become the new Nintendo.
Right.
God damn it, Jim.
Right.
But Chambers, while we got these guys, what questions we got from our awesome patrons? That way they can help us answer them.
Yep. Patreon.com/DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, where for as little as $2 a month, you can ask a question and we will answer on each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. Ugh. Used to be able to do that with more breath. Goddamn COVID. First up from Tony Montana. Since starting drinking on the regular, what's the longest period that you've went without a single drink and would consider a full-on extended period, maybe 6 months or a year of abstinence from alcohol, for a detox and help hit the reset button on the old liver and get back to lower tolerance levels?
You guys got an answer?
Oh, that's a question for us too?
I mean, we're all going to answer it, so...
Steve pulls up his XXX glass.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously the heavy drinker of us here tonight.
I used to drink nightly, a couple beers at least, 1 to 3. And I started getting fat way too fast. And I was like, I got priorities, man. I don't even get. So I gave it up. Plus, it was expensive.
But did you give it up like you won't touch it at all, or you gave it up to like maybe every like once a month you might have something?
I don't buy it anymore. Put it that way. If I'm at a place and there's a beer, I'll have a beer. But
okay. So what was the longest period then? How long ago did you do that?
Probably a year and a half.
Okay. Nice.
The last time I had a beer was in the spring.
Okay. All right. What about you, John?
I have no off switch, man. Like, I have to stay away from alcohol, dude, because like I get too rowdy, and like I don't know why. Once I start drinking, it's hard to flip it off. Even drinking this now, I'm like, I could do another. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I really have to like step back, and it's easier now because like I'll wake up tomorrow and my daughter's gonna be screaming, and I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, this is why.
This is why.
Yep. Yeah, But
have you had a hangover feed yet?
I only had like a couple of beers one night, and like I kind of felt a little groggy the next day, and it was like, I don't know if I want to do this very often, but
well, you want a life-changing experience. You need to have that first time where you're sitting there with a bottle, but you're also going, like trying to hold back a puke.
Jim, I'm trying not to get there. I'm trying.
Jim, I think that's more unique to you, Jim. I don't think that's a common thing problems. Most dads deal with. I don't think that's something.
Right now, right now we're doing exclusively breastfeeding, so I'm
you're off the hook.
I copped out of that. Yeah, I copped out of that one, but it's still not pleasing to hear a crying baby whenever you're feeling like shit.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I forget if it was last year or the year before. I randomly was like, you know what? I'm going to take a month off like in January. I'm like, I'm just going to stop. just to like, I just wanted to see like how different. I think Steve, it was like you. I was like getting too fat over COVID or whatever. I was like, I think I just need a good reset of all toxins out of me. I found it actually easier than I thought I would. The biggest problem I realized is like I replaced like, if it was like, hey, it would be a night I would be having whatever. Like I don't really drink soda at all, so it was really all I have during the day is coffee and water. That's it. And then like beer was a nice little treat, so I was like, all right, I guess I'll start drinking fucking LaCroix or something like that. Like just something to drink that's not just water.
Something different.
Yeah, like something to mix it in there. Because I don't drink like tea. So I took a month, and then I think I extended it a little bit past. And it was funny because the first beer, and I think, John, like you, I had an IPA, and like, dude, it knocked me on my ass. I was like, ooh, this hit me kind of hard. Like I wasn't
feeling
expecting
saucy.
That. Yeah. But it was one of those, it was like, okay, cool. Like, it's not something that I didn't, like, think, like, okay, this was going to be tough. It wasn't tough at all. For me, beer is funny. Like, I very rarely, unless it's, like, going out for a bachelor party or, like, I know, like, I'm seeing, like, family or friends I haven't in a while, it's rare I'm drinking to get drunk. I actually drink for the flavor and to try as many different beers as I can. So in one sitting, unless it's this podcast, I maybe only have one or two, and that's it. So yeah, it's different. Like I can never be that guy. It's like I'm just gonna have 5 lucky streaks and like just because. Like, yeah, that doesn't work for me. Jim, what about you?
Yeah.
Have you ever? What? Actually, I am curious. Since I've met you, you were drinking back then. Here. Have you ever had a non-medical related forced sobriety?
I don't think so. Yeah, that sounds worse coming out.
You had a medically related
No, I'm just saying, like, if he's sick and something, like, you're really not supposed, not like, hey, yeah, I'm just saying, like, yeah, like, you know, like, if you're sick or something.
No, I mean, we've talked about it before where, like, you know, before the page, I would really only drink to get drunk. So I wouldn't sit there and have like 1 or 2 nightcaps. It would be I have no beer or I have all the beer. So then, like, thanks to the page, like, you know, I can sip on a few now and be like, all right, I'm good, but I still kind of like doing that. There's still that little part in the back of my head. It's like, hey, you should have 10 more. I go, no, goddamn it, I have work tomorrow. But so yeah, I mean, besides being really sick, like I think I didn't drink for a week and a half thanks to COVID, and that's the longest I've gone in a long time. I can't remember.
Do you feel like you lost the tolerance? Like
in 1 week?
No. So, no. I mean, I you know, I'm not like, I don't have a super great tolerance either. I'm like, I'm good, and then blackout. So, you know, it's, Jesus, God, this just sounds worse and worse. But, yeah, no, I mean, I guess, you know, maybe a week or 2 without anything medical, because, like, that's how I quit smoking cigarettes, was because I had a chest infection. And I was like, well, I've gone 3 weeks, I might as well keep going, so.
That one I can relate to, definitely. I stopped vaping because I had a lung collapse. So
I was gonna say because you lost your lung. Yeah,
I guess that's a reason.
You know, it's a good one. I would say. So I would have never quit. I would have never stopped.
So yeah, I've got a great question.
Great question, bud.
Next up from Travis Lee. Not including games that Jim and I play on the adult section of Steam. What was one of the first mainstream games to show hang dong? What was the first schlong you saw in a video game? I remember God of War showing titties back in the PS2, but I can't think of an elongated sloppy pixels in the past.
What game showed titties?
Like God of War did. I mean, I even think some of the old Leisure Suit Larrys might have. Yeah, God of War.
Well, here's the deal. Well, would you consider they weren't fully exposed, but like Duke Nukem 3D showed the stripper?
That was my first.
That was my first boot. First like encounter, I remember you give them the money, and you're like, "What the hell?"
I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna remember that my whole life."
But dong. Well, see, I'm gonna give my easy cop out answer. I hadn't played it, but from Angry Video Game Nerd when he showed Custer's Revenge and those like old like pornographic Atari games, I have to imagine that's the first dong being hung. Like all the, I forget the name of all of them. What the hell was the one? Beat 'em and eat 'em.
Beat 'em and eat 'em.
Yeah, like that has to be the first. But me seeing it in a game.
I've never seen a dick in a game. I don't think.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think I've ever actually seen just No, I'm sorry. Fucking Outlast. That game, the horror game. You're in a mental asylum, and the two twins following you. All of a sudden, you look down, and they're just hanging out, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
I never played it.
You're like, why did they put? You're like, why did they put the physics to make it so floppy? Like, what is going on here?
I know. Right, no one remembers this. Maybe that's a dream you had.
In Amnesia, one of the monsters is clearly a dude.
Yep.
Quite a dude, from what
I've never played that one either. Horror games, dude. I watch horror movies, and they don't scare me in any way. I can watch any horror movie. I play a horror game, dude. It scares the fucking shit out of me. Dude.
Amnesia is so good. All the fictional games are so good.
Yeah.
And Soma, except that Soma gave me an existential crisis.
Okay. I might have to try it then.
You might, but maybe not. I don't know.
What about you, Roo? So you can't think of any game you've seen Dong in?
I don't think so. I can barely think of like TV series that I've seen Dong in. You know, like here recently, maybe like Spartacus, and then Game of Thrones, maybe. And I don't know.
You haven't played Genital Jousting?
Missing out, dude.
It's on Steam. It's one of them.
One of those games.
Meme games. Let's make a game that everyone will want to look at, but probably not actually play.
It's one of them.
James,
the only thing I can think of is like when that Conan game from a few years ago got announced, and like everyone just started memeing on the fact that you can like adjust the size of the hock on that guy.
I remember seeing that, yeah.
But was he actually naked, or because they did that before in
I thought that was Cyberpunk for some reason.
They did it in Cyberpunk, but they also did it in what the hell was that shooter that was like it was like a knockoff of GTA, but it was more goofy. Saints Row.
Yeah,
Saints Row 3, you did it too. Like you did it, they said like adjust your package. That's what it was called. Nice. And it was like but they didn't show it. They just showed like the pants bulge out. Like so that became the memeable thing, but
I think Conan had an actual bird in it though.
Did it? I never actually played that, so
yeah, I never got around to playing that either. I just remember the video and being like, that's funny, and then I just moved on. So.
Damn it, Jim.
That's a worthy question.
Yeah,
for sure.
It is a worthy question.
Thank you, Travis, you son of a bitch. At least it wasn't this time.
That's a worthy one.
John, Steve, Untapped Market.
Hey.
The little schlong
I can see the ideas already going.
Who needs anime titties whenever you can have schlong?
Yeah. If you scroll through Kickstarter, some of the pornographic games just absolutely bank. Like,
dude, yeah.
That's how you make real money, dude. Anime titties.
You would, if you do anything hentai, Jim is gonna be your #1 fan, and he'll buy all the copies.
Dude, that's how to make money. It
might be top 5
man.
backer on that one. Depends if I wake up in time.
Maybe we should do something on the NES.
Yeah, right.
Time to hit that market.
All right, next up from JD Mains. I'm requesting a second video game review of y'all game, Rockstar's L.A. Noire. Brian and Jim, y'all suffered a lot between The Room and Burger King.
I like that game.
I haven't played it, but that is one that's on my list to play because I'd be interested. Jim, I know, wouldn't be because it's a story-driven game.
I've always been interested in it. Like, you know, the fact, like, you know, trying to do facial recognition. I guess I have to pay attention to the goddamn story for once, but...
Yeah, I liked the game. It was fun, for sure. I thought it was
what
good.
JD throws our way, I mean, how can I really say no?
So. Yeah, you can't say no.
We can throw that on the list for you, bud. But also, his question, is there a future for shooter MMOs like Destiny? I've played Destiny for 5 years before giving up and on the lights and raids, and I don't see how developers do it long term, at least outside of a major studio like Bungie.
I mean, I feel like there was this little pocket of 5 years where things like, I thought that was going to be the new thing between like Division, Destiny, all those games, like, and I thought that was going to be it. And I feel like between PUBG and Warzone, that style of game took over, and I think it kind of pushed those MMOs out of the way. Because I don't feel like I see many more of the shooter MMOs anymore, like other than the mainstays that are already out there. Whereas the Battlefield, you know, the Fortnites, the Warzones, and whatever, they're so dominant right now that everyone kind of forgot about the MMOs. That's just my opinion. Like, I feel like looters and that style people kind of got tired of. You're like, God damn it, I'm tired of having to do a raid every 10 minutes just to get some more equipment of this and that. Like, it wore its welcome out.
Yeah, I think Anthem was supposed to be like the last big one, and then that like flopped. So
yeah,
maybe people got burnt out on it quick. I don't know.
What do you guys think? I mean, did you play any of those?
Dude, I suck at video games. So I played Fortnite like twice and got my ass handed to me. So like
Who's in a corner building a wall, he's getting shot down.
I don't play anything online ever because I am terrible with games. I would probably, if I streamed, I'd probably be really frustrating to watch. It's not my thing, you know. I it's like my lonely basement time.
I got you. What about you, Steve?
I played Destiny 2 when it came out. I thought it was really good, and I like shooters, and I don't mind online games. But for FPSs, I would rather play Battlefield. I love the Battlefield series. I've dumped thousands of hours into that whole series, or something like the Deep Rock Galactic, which is cooperative. You know, and the style of Left 4 Dead. I mean, the MMO, the way they're built to make you have to work so hard to progress, and the story never actually. I just don't like MMOs very much.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know. I'm not trying to be edgy or anything. I like games that I can finish, that have some kind of goal that I can point to. I'm like, I finished it.
I did it. Yeah.
No, I'm with you there. That's why I never got into Minecraft that much, because like I know there's a story that you can kind of go through, but like and like kill the Ender Dragon or whatever. But like after a while, after a month of just like digging around building stuff, I was like, all right, I kind of need a point.
Try playing it with a 6-year-old that insists that you stay in survival mode, but he gets to be in creative mode.
Of course,
it's great.
Dude,
it's bonding.
I know. What's funny is my 5-year-old now all the time, let's play Minecraft and we're going to build the house. And he criticizes the shit out of the way I recreate our house. He's like, Dad, you got to like put the, I'm like, motherfucker, you do it. Like like at some point I'm like, all right, this is kind of boring to me.
I'm over here punching trees and he's just like building a house of diamond.
You're like, this isn't fun. Yeah, MMOs, I'm with you. If I'm going to do a mindless, like you're saying, like a Left 4 Dead or something, like I want something that either has an actual story and ending or it is mindless and I'm only playing the shooter for fun. Like I don't want to have to like earn gear in order to even be kind of competitive. So yeah.
You got to buy gems to buy gold to buy whatever. Yeah. The whole ecosystem of MMOs just pisses me off.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not my. That's why like my one buddy Jay like tried to get me into the Division. It may be the best game ever, but I can't. I don't know. It's not my style. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe in the future they come back, but I felt like they had a blip on the radar, and there's a reason standard FPSs. The formula is just done well with them. Don't fuck with it. So.
But yeah, and last up from Game Whisperer Dean. Won anything nice lately?
Dean.
Wait, what was it?
Has anyone won anything nice lately?
Won anything?
Won? Like in a giveaway?
I guess. Won in a giveaway, won a prize, won a contest. Who knows? Whatever you guys got. Like I said earlier, I won that Avenging Spirit, so that's what I won.
Hey, there you go. I won a Nintendo Life giveaway for that. All it was, what is it called? Awakening, yeah.
Or Always Legacy is the new one.
That was a really cool game.
That did look cool. Yeah.
That's a good series. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was
good
really well done.
For you to study there, Roo.
Yeah, it was a really cool game.
Hint.
And I won that definitely. I won that in a giveaway, so that was really neat.
Damn.
That's the only giveaway I think I've ever won ever.
Well, I barely social medias, so he's not going to be winning any giveaways.
I knew. I mean, when the lottery was up to $1 billion, I won like $20 off of a ticket. I guess that counts. That's the closest I came to winning. So
I like to give away. I like to do giveaways. They're fun, more fun to do than to win for me. Yeah. Definitely. Like whenever I buy something that I like gives me nostalgia. Like the other day I bought like those stars that you stick on your wall. You know.
Oh yeah,
they glow in the dark.
Yeah. I bought 2 of them, and I'm like, I'm gonna give these away. And I bought 2 Tamagotchis. I was like, somebody might appreciate this. So I'm like, future giveaway.
Good old Tamagotchis.
I'm gonna throw in the glow in the dark stars and a Tamagotchi.
That's awesome.
And whenever I buy something, like I'm always like, hey, this is not too expensive. Let me buy 2 of these and give one away to somebody.
I'm always curious with those giveaways where it's like, because of Jim, I know certain people that actually do follow through. But some of these bigger ones where it's like, we're giving away a $3,000 gaming PC. I'm like, do they ever
win?
Given
right?
away? Like what the fuck is going on with
giving
these?
away a Switch?
Yeah, you're like.
I was buying like Game Gears and repairing them, and that was like the biggest giveaway that I did was like a Game Gear with some games, but it was one that I bought and repaired. It cost me like, it was only like $30, I think, or something like that I bought and repaired. That's awesome. And I gave that away, but I had 3 of them, so it was like,
you're like, yeah,
I have 2 broken ones. I might be hitting you up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Can I win that one since I don't win it and Jim won? So
I can totally.
You ain't winning shit. You stay off my stuff.
I'll fix them for you for sure. Let me know.
Thanks, Roo. Can Jim send you his? You fix it and send it to me as a giveaway.
He said he's got 2, right?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
He's like, wait,
give me the good one.
But I'm a klutzy boy. I need my backup.
Damn it, Jim.
That's how I feel about VCRs, dude. I can't stop buying them. I have like 9 VCRs, and I always intend to sell them, and I'm like, dude, but I need a backup VCR for my backup VCR.
I'm just has to make sure his dad's porn collection lives on in eternity. So.
Dude, it's crazy, dude.
What about you, Steve? You win anything lately?
It's funny you mentioned fake giveaways because I actually won a PS5. The guy just wanted me to send him money for shipping. And
he was an Arabian Prince.
I didn't realize shipping was like $300.
Shoo.
PS5.
That's a deal. Yeah, so you're like me, Jim. You son of a bitch.
What I do? So yeah, that wraps up the questions for this week. So once again, thank you to all of our patrons for the support. We really do appreciate it. And as always, you can head on over there, check out the tiers. You can get game request reviews, movie review requests, access to our bonus episodes, all kinds of different good stuff. And if you're listening on iTunes and Spotify, please head over to there and leave a 5-star review. We'll read any comment with a 5-star review that you leave. So,
yep. Thank you guys. Truly appreciate it. All right, Chambers. So we are back. Before we move on to the topic, John, how is that big old IPA treating you?
Dude, it's gone, and I feel saucy. I feel really great. Like I said, dude, no self-control. That's why I only bought 1. I'm like,
Now you have no options, right?
Yeah, if there was another one out there, then it would be nice if somebody brought it to me.
We'll wait. We'll wait while you drive to the store.
That's when you text the woman and go, "Hey, big favor, put the baby in the seat. Daddy needs beer."
The baby in the car seat and go to the store and give me a 6-pack.
What about you, Chambers? How's your Virginia beer treating you?
It's good. I'm saving the rest for the next time we meet up. So I moved, but it's a very solid IPA. So I'm moving on to a bunch of leftovers. So I randomly had another, one of those Hanalei Island IPAs. So hitting that up from Kona.
Nice.
And then after that, I probably have a 2-year-old Hershey's Yingling Porter. So I'm sure that'll be delightful after all these IPAs. So I'm doing
Interesting.
That right.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
It's actually shockingly good. It's not just a gimmick. It's actually
it's good,
enjoyable.
But was that in your fridge the whole time?
Yes.
Okay. At least it should be kind of fresh.
Ish.
Yeah, the Oktoberfish, as I said, it's not going to knock your socks off if you like Oktoberfest beer styles. I went through 2 of those, but now I'm just moving back to the cheapo Lucky Streaks because I'm trying to save some good beer for next time I see Jim as well. So, Jim, undoubtedly, this is better than your Keystone.
How dare you, sir? It was good. Don't get me wrong.
What kind of beer is Lucky Streak?
So it's just like, an American light lager. It's made by Anheuser-Busch. I think it came out in like 2018. It's just meant to be like another cheap lager, and it's only 4.2%. So
It's like
super
Lone
light,
Star.
like Lone Star. Except what's funny is this has way more flavor than it should for a 4.2%. It's not water like Keystone. So
Easy there.
Jim, just take down that flag and show your Alex Jones picture behind it. Come on.
Funny, that is on the other side. Why the goddamn globalists are gonna win now?
No, but Jim, I get it. You vote. You've admittedly stuck on brand. You've always liked cheap beer since college.
Yep.
But I guess that's where we're kind of lucky compared to places like Australia, which
cheap beer is now a thing of the past for them.
$15.
See, Steve over here, he's lucky. If he ever goes to Australia, he doesn't have to worry about buying or paying $15 for a goddamn pint now.
Yeah, $15 for a pint of beer. Now, here's the deal. Having never been to Australia, I have to imagine most shit over there is a little more expensive. So, Steve, you seem to know a little bit more about it, but what are your thoughts?
So I looked at that also. And yeah, first of all, everything in Australia is like wicked expensive because everything they don't make there has to cross the oceans.
Imports.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But they do. I know Australia, they do grow their own hops, and I think most beer ingredients are grown right there. But the $15 pints, that's, I believe, at the bar, and that's $15 Australian, which is about $10 US. So
still
bad, but not as horrific.
But if you were paying $10 for a Keystone, Jim, would you feel uncomfortable?
Have you seen the creatures?
I would pay $40 for a Keystone, sir.
The things that come out of Australia are crazy, bro. They need beer there for sure.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I feel bad for our brothers in beer over there, because they got spiders that eat fucking snakes and
huntsman spiders. Yeah,
those things are gnarly.
Basically, everything over there just tries to kill you. So they don't have enough problems. They can't even get drunk now on the cheap.
But in the article, it even mentions, like, you don't get any relief if you just try to buy shit on the go, because, like, even their cartons and their to-go shit are just as expensive. So what I didn't understand from the article is why.
Basically, the taxes are increasing by 4%, or $2.50 more per liter. So, yeah, apparently, like, Australia's just always been kind of fucked on the booze side when it comes to taxes and prices and stuff. It's like an easy way that the government's been, like, milking them for money.
It's one of the drunkest countries in the world, according to something that I read somewhere. According to the internet.
Yeah.
I believe it.
I imagine the government is trying to kind of, like, maybe curb that by making it more expensive to get wasted every single day. But I don't know. That's socialism.
I'll tell you one thing though, Gelatinous is not more expensive for Australians. If they order it, we ship it for the same price.
And aren't new games over there like $90? So if anything, Gelatinous is a goddamn bargain.
It's a steal for sure.
I mean, for a whole area that was basically just started with convicts, who would have thought they would have been robbing each other? Come on, that's crazy.
Well, I mean, let's be fair, Brian. Once it got settled, quote unquote.
Jim, what are you trying to say?
There were people there before the convicts.
I don't know. I'm
not caught up in my Australian history here, so
Australian. Oh, go ahead, Roo.
No.
I want to know what you know.
I just know that they were from the United Kingdom, right? Yep. They were the convicts from the United Kingdom.
Yeah, they basically.
That's as far as I know.
Over a shit ton of ships of convicts, and they're like, "All right, start a colony here."
I'm sure there was natives there, though, right?
Oh, there were, yeah.
But were they slaughtered?
It didn't turn out nice.
They had a rough go.
Yeah,
you can put it that way.
But no, it's one of those things. It's like, it's funny because, yeah, like I had heard that as well. Like Australia is one of the biggest, like, per capita drinking continents in the world, and now they're paying that much. Like, I wonder, I don't know, that just seems really excessive, especially since, like Steve said, they have enough shit there they can grow and produce in-house. If it was just because it was imports, I would understand it. But that's, I don't know. I don't know if it's like a dick move, like a vice tax or something like you see in some countries, but
what it sounds like. But it's worth mentioning too, they tax wine differently.
Really? Oh, do they?
Less?
Well, it depends on the value of the bottle, I think.
But still, it's probably cheaper for wine over there, right?
Yeah, it's like for cheap wine, yeah.
Goddamn wine lobbyist. Like no, but that, Jim, that was an interesting little I mean, let's put it this way. I know, Steve, you haven't drank in a while, and you won't drink unless it's free. But John, Jim, like, if you're at a bar and all of a sudden your tab comes up, and just for Miller Lite, Bud Light, standard ass tavern, if they're like $10 per, you gonna be cool with that?
Fuck that.
Yeah. First of all, I don't drink Miller Lite or Bud Light, so I wouldn't even be in that scenario. Yeah, too good for that.
Yeah,
but yeah, I would be upset. That's really expensive.
Yeah, this is like these prices are like strip club. Like you're getting bent over backwards.
Super
to
strip
pay
club. Yeah,
way too much for beers. You're like, all right, this is a price we pay. That like that when I saw those prices, that's what I thought. I'm like, oh, it's like $10 for a Miller Lite. Okay, this is what we're doing.
I love the strip club too, as you can see. I got the free T-shirt, so
did you win it?
I won it with $30 towards a stripper. It was on free T-shirt night.
I love it.
I wish I knew. I would have coordinated. I would have brought down my gold club hat.
I always try to go when they give the free shirts, man.
Yeah. So hopefully that. I mean, yeah. With Jim and I mean, well, no, Jim will buy cheap beer, but like I tend to get better beer anyway. But yeah, like if shit was like $20 for like that IPA you're drinking, Roo, and it was a regular pint, that would be like.
And I would stop drinking.
Yeah.
I would have to.
I would not be going to bars at all. I'd be like, okay, never mind.
I'd be like, oh, drugs are cheaper.
Be going in the alley behind the bar, then getting messed up.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm used to drinking like the $2 beers when I can at like any gigs I play and shit like that. Like I'll drink the bottom of the barrel. I don't give a fuck. But $10, screw that. I'll just move on to liquor and get my money's worth at that point.
Right? That's expensive. It's costly.
So Jamber, I wanted to ask for this next article you put up. Speaking of needing some liquor, and I know you were a late adopter to this. What's going on with the Stadia, Jim?
Well, Bri, so we haven't heard anything since, and this came out from an account on Twitter called Killed by Google. And apparently there is a little internal meeting where they're basically like, yeah, we're kind of going to be killing off the Stadia by, quote-unquote, the end of summer. So it's never really been substantiated by anything. For all I know, it could be complete bullshit, but much like X-Files, I choose to believe. But, yeah, basically they had a pretty large retail employee seminar in California, and Google's beginning their exit plan. So they don't have an exact date, but they said end of summer, and they will not be transferring their services or servers like to the competition like they did with Google Play Music. So, yeah, I guess if you're one of the like 5 people out there who actually used your Stadia, you might be out of luck soon if there's any merit to this.
I thought it was already gone, honestly, but has it been hacked?
I didn't even know it was still around. Like, just like you.
Can you hack it? Can you hack it and put games on it at least?
Well, Jim, don't you have one?
I've never opened it. But yes, I do have the founder set that comes with the Google Chrome and the controller.
So, Jim, the answer to my question was yes, I do have one.
Yeah, yes, I do have one. I just never used it. Like it got to the point where that was a promo where it's like, oh, if you sign up for YouTube Premium, you get a free Stadia set. And I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. And then I never used it. So there you go, money well spent.
Might be worth something in like a few years.
Yeah,
it's a streaming service, right? It's all streaming games.
Yeah, and actually the controller, it's a little fucky because you have to. The controller only Wi-Fi connects directly to your internet, and not to like the Chromecast or anything itself. So if you want to use it on your laptop, you have to use it plugged in like via USB. You can't just like Bluetooth into it because it like doesn't exist. It's a weird
it has no internal memory at all. Or do you download the games onto it?
No, it's all straight through the service. So that's like one of the big criticisms people had with Stadia is because you're paying for a service where you're just streaming it, but they're still charging you the full price of the games on top of the the price to use the service. So that's when everyone kind of went, well, fuck this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have just been a Game Pass.
It sounds like exactly what they thought was going to happen is happening. The rug? Let's.
But here's a question to Steve's point. Like, so if you decide to open a gym and download games, there's no memory to keep the games on there, even if the servers die.
As far as I know, no. And if it's gonna be like Google Play Music, I think when that went away, I forget if that transferred to YouTube Music or if that just like kind of just like straight went away and you kind of just like got fucked. So I can't remember exactly. I didn't use that.
Were there any original games on Stadia, or was it all just?
I know
like
they were
ports?
talking about it. There might have been a handful, but nothing that ever got traction.
See, that's where I feel the sympathy. I'm like, okay, if there's developers who made games for it and now they're just going away, that sucks, you know. But sounds like just they were just trying to make some money.
Yeah. Well, so I'm looking at right now Stadia. There are definitely plenty of ports, but some of these games I don't really know, like Calico, Time on Frog Island. I have no idea if they're ports or originals, but then others where it's like Far Cry, Primal. I'm like, okay, those are World War Z.
Okay, so it had some games.
Okay, so it has games on there. There's plenty. Even Far Cry.
It's
6.
capable. Yeah.
So it clearly had, real games.
And a buddy of mine used the service, and he said it wasn't bad, like when you actually use it, as long as you had a decent internet connection. But still, again, you needed a good internet connection too.
It's not a shitty console though. It's seemingly good.
It's literally just a Chromecast and a controller, and then a service that you stream from.
That's.
Well, I mean, this is one where it's like, well, duh. Kind of like a lot of these consoles where Jim and I have talked about, and you go, why are so many people backing this thing that has no legs behind it? And
this is why you buy physical media right here.
That's right. You only get stuff from these guys right here.
This is it.
So, Gelatinous on Evercade win?
Yeah, there you go. Hey, you said it, I didn't.
What? I'm just saying what the people want. That's all.
Steve, you're awfully quiet. Did that Triple X beer hit you?
The firewater just hit him out of nowhere.
Y'all.
Yeah.
I'd say this is more like a quadruple X beer.
Yeah.
They just ran out of space on the label, I guess.
Wait, Brian, if it's 4X's, then how naked am I?
Damn it. Then it goes inside you.
Jesus.
Yeah, right?
But Chambers, we talked a lot about how much you actually just got done gaming because you had COVID.
Uh-huh.
And I think the past 2 years were actually kind of kind to the gaming industry by everybody was in the house and everyone was buying a shit ton of games. And now it's kind of like, I guess, leveling out back to what it was pre-COVID.
So basically they're calling it, a little bit of a COVID hangover, but like the gaming industry is still killing it, but it's definitely not hitting those ridiculous highs. Like, I guess across the board, like, gaming in general is down 11% for modern consoles, which, I mean, even then, it's still made over, like, $4 billion or some shit like that. So, like, these companies are still making a buttload of money. But, yeah, I mean, people are starting to go back to real life a little bit again here and there.
Well, here's hoping that translates to the retro gaming market.
Yeah.
People can quit trying to get...
You want to talk about a market that got fucked? Holy God! Like I outside of like a lucky grab at a Goodwill here and there, I haven't bought a retro game in like a year and a half because it's like even I see the prices and I used to overspend like crazy.
I'm
looking at it like fuck this.
I saw a guy today super win at my thrift shop. The lady had put the games out and he grabbed them right in front of my eyes, and it was like PlayStation 1 and Dreamcast games that are super rare. Like Legends of Mana, like all these super rare games, and I was just like, no. He was like, dude, I usually sell shoes, but these games, they look valuable, and I'm like, you motherfucker.
Yeah,
so you beat him up in the parking lot and took them, right?
Yeah, right. Oh, dude, it was rough. It happened literally today. I was like, dude, I'm still butthurt about it. I did get some big box PC games though, so that was good.
Oh, the big box PC. Those and the the PS1 big box games are two of my like. I almost don't care what it is. I just love big box art and all that, like I gotta have it. Like,
I
I don't know
love it.
how many copies of Road Rash I need, but I have another goddamn big box PC because if I see it, I'm gonna buy it.
Dude, I haven't even played these games or heard of them, and I had bought them, and I'm gonna like just try them out, whatever. They're cheap enough, So
Yeah.
Ooh, actually, Brian. So all of our mutual buddies, good old gamer Astral, he was at a store today and he saw a certain game with a certain price tag on it. So I want you to play a little guessing game on it. How much do you think he saw Pac-Man on the 2600 for at a wasn't Second and Charles, like what the Value Village, I think is like the actual brand, but in PA it's got to be called Second Avenue for some dumb reason. But
is it like a Goodwill?
Yeah, it's a thrift store.
A thrift store? Is it
thrift
complete?
chain? Nope, just a cart.
Just a cart.
Decent condition.
Decent.
Yeah, I would say acceptable condition.
Well, considering I went to a Goodwill today and I saw what some prices were, I'm gonna say like $10.
A little higher.
Close.
$20.
Closer.
Getting there.
$30.
Does that hurt?
Warmer?
Does that hurt?
What the fuck? This is already like I would just break it in the store. 25?
Why'd you go backwards?
Because I thought you said a little lower.
No.
Oh, no.
$40.
Brian, you could get Pac-Man for the low price of $99.99.
What the wait, number one, Jim, I don't think you know how to play hot and cold. If I said 30 and you said a little warmer, that's not a little warmer.
I was being a dick.
$99 for just the cart of Pac-Man on 2600.
Yep.
Did he ask, like, was that a joke or did they mean 99 cents?
I don't think even bother going that far. I think it's a lost cause at that point.
Because what I've seen is across every, and I don't know if you guys go to any Goodwills or anything, like when
Oh yeah.
like game hunting, like I've noticed like even like Blu-rays now, which used to everything was always $1, like DVDs, Blu-rays, maybe $2. Now like they're like really like they're trying to do like $4 and $5 for popular titles.
Yeah.
And games now they even put those behind displays, and I've seen some shit Wii titles, and I'm like, you think anyone wants to buy like Barbie's Paradise for fucking $10 or whatever it is? I'm like, Jim, put that hand down.
Sorry.
I've seen it for sure. Definitely.
Dude, that's
Wii Fit. You want a copy of Wii Fit?
Dude, I saw fucking Wii Sports at a garage sale for $40. I was like, you goddamn high.
But here's a question: is anyone stupid enough to put $99 towards a Pac-Man?
Probably.
Maybe.
I bet if he goes back in a week, it'll be sold.
You got faith in humanity,
I
bro.
don't know. I think people are going to keep trying to ask for outrageous sums for their shitty games. They're going to continue to not sell, and then they're going to get to a point where like, I think there will come a point where prices start to come back down. Probably not very much, but people can't just keep asking outrageous prices for stuff and not selling it. At some point they're going to want to actually get rid of this stuff.
Maybe that'll happen in the housing market because your boy needs a house.
Dude, the housing market is just like that too. They're like, hey, we know we only paid $120K for this house, but here's $400K price tag. You're like, wait, what?
Come on, guys. I'm tired of renting.
And actually, what do you call it? John and Steve, when you guys were at Retropalooza, how are the prices there? Because when Brian and I went to too many games, granted, we mostly just drank there, but when I did pay attention to prices, I was like, oh boy, these people are asking outrageous amounts.
I saw some okay deals, honestly.
I think they were fair, like price charting prices, maybe a little bit less. And you can always, I love going to conventions because you can always, you can talk them down or buy a handful of stuff and get a deal.
It wasn't outrageous everywhere, like there were some outrageous places. Of course, we just walked by those places and somebody else had the game and you could talk about it.
Wada Games was there.
They were there,
and Heritage Auctions there.
Oh Jesus!
Did you pee on them? You should have peed on them.
We should have beat them up in the
Speaking of
parking lot.
dongs and games, you should have just whipped it out and pissed right on their table.
Well, actually, here's a good question, guys. For the because now you got me interested. Number one, I'm going to give you guys two games. First game, Pac-Man complete in box on eBay. What do you think roughly the price would be?
I bet it's not even
2600?
100. Yeah, I bet it's not even $100.
I bet it's like 50.
I'll say 40.
225 or 300.
What?
Oh,
Complete in box.
okay.
Pac-Man.
Is that?
Now,
Steve.
Wait, how many copies of this do I have? I have a few.
now, Miss Pac-Man, because you said WADA, a sealed Miss Pac-Man WADA 8.0 A+ seal. How much do you think that goes for on a 2600?
$2,000.
Easy. I mean, but it doesn't really go for that. It's what they are asking for it, and there's a pretty good chance that someone else, that same person under a different account, is going to go buy it from themselves in order to make the price seem bigger than it is. I have a humongous article about it, but it's fine.
Well, guys,
you just gotta check it out. Pop deck.
Well, if you want to watch a pretty good article,
if you would like a WADA 8.0 A+ sealed Miss Pac-Man, it will only cost you $300.
What?
Get out.
That's $300, but somehow regular Pac-Man is $300 as well.
Are you sure?
I mean, this one,
Pac-Man is the meme, but
here's the deal. I'm not going to claim the authenticity. I don't know WADA packaging. It looks like the complete sealed WADA graded 8.0 sealed, all that shit. You can buy it right now for $299. So that's why I went now seeing that Pac-Man, just regular balls ass Pac-Man, is going for that much. Why is that so rare, and why would someone at Goodwill put it for $99? That's why I don't understand. Like, I don't understand video game pricing.
It was like one of the most
all.
overproduced games ever.
Yeah. Jim, wait till your Burger King games now go up in value by tenfold.
Oh, Brian, I am waiting for the day.
Well, that wrestler who has like 2,700 copies, Jim, could just flood the market. Fuck
That's
you.
the first person I thought of.
Yeah.
Well, I'll
rich.
do a big bumping then. That's a game no one talks about, so it's more rare. Nah.
God damn it, Jim. No, but I mean, that is $99. That's a ballsy move.
And it's, by the way, I had to pull it up. It is not pretty. And they put the price tag right on the label.
Yes, they did. That is a classic thrift store move.
Savers.
Dude, worst.
Jesus Christ.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's unmistakably $100. Like,
Pain, bro. Pain.
that would almost make me want to go, because especially like in those thrift stores, I don't know about you guys. By the way, in Texas, we have friends, like other friends we follow on Twitter. It seems like Texas has some of the best goddamn thrift shops when it comes to gaming. Like, you guys seem to have crazy decent, like, compared to us, where we might have like 2 games of Fascination available for us. But something like that, and in our thrift stores, it's not the best people working there.
They go right to the online auctions up here.
I was going to say, you could easily probably use
yeah.
an X-Acto knife, cut off that 9 and say, it's $9.99, and then just take it up, and they'd be like, okay, and just ring you up for that amount.
I thrift shop. I go to thrift shops often, and it's really a hit or miss, honestly.
Yeah. Up here, and at least in the Dallas suburbs, they're extremely picked over.
Really? Okay.
It's hard. It's hard to even. Last time I went to Goodwill, they had like 3 or 4 Wii games behind the case, and it was sports titles.
That was it.
They were still like $20 each.
Yeah.
My thrift shop is right next to my post office, so every time that I drop off like orders from my website, I go next door and I go to the thrift shop, and it's such a hit or miss. Like I said, today, literally, that guy had gotten like $1,000 worth of games right there, just grabbed them in front of me. But on any given day, you can get your standard copy of Wii Fit with the pad that you stand on. You know,
just because.
You totally.
Well, guys, I'm gonna give you a little hint that I discovered. I don't know if it's the same in Texas, but around me, all the libraries near me usually have DVDs or video games for sale, and they never go for more than $1. Sometimes they're on sale for 50 cents. And games I don't even care about. I got 6 Xbox One games and some of them are like the newest farming simulator and some actual legit titles for 50 cents or $1, because nobody thinks to look there.
That's
and, like,
a good idea.
Yeah, so check out your libraries if they're willing to sell that type of shit.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, my dad is president or going to be president of his local Friends of the Library, because I guess when you're retired you got to do something. And he actually goes to the book sorting every time they take donations. And
hell yeah, insider trading.
They're in rural.
There you go.
They're in rural Missouri, and so their book sale is like the biggest one in the region. So they get stuff from all over, but they hardly ever come across games. He brought me Mario Party for the GameCube once, and he got a few Super Nintendo games, but they're commons. But he's always on the lookout for me.
That's awesome.
Still, to see a Super Nintendo game is pretty rare in the wild, you know?
Yeah, he got a handful of them. Donkey Kong Country and...
that's a good one.
They were legit titles.
Yeah, you're throwing some pretty good names out there.
That's a good one. Yeah, it's a good one.
No, but boys, we wanna say thank you guys so much for hopping on. Once again, please click all the links below. Purchase some games from these guys, and obviously we don't want to throw anything out there, but I know you guys are working on a new project. Is there anything else you guys want to shout out before we head off?
Steve?
Not at all. No, I feel really satisfied. I need a cigarette.
I appreciate you guys having us on for sure. Both of us too. It's really cool to come on with Steven too.
Yeah, for sure.
We appreciate it.
Even though me and him we interact every day, we don't get to like video chat. You know, that's cool. So
yeah, but no, we're super glad to have you guys on. And once again, congrats on the success of Gelatinous. Looks like people have been really happy with them as they've been coming in. So good job on that work, boys.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
And to anyone watching, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to click the links below. Follow these guys on Twitter and their websites. With that, we want to say have a good night, everyone, and cheers.
Cheers, guys.